launch an attack, Iran can expect a, quote, blow unlike any other in return. Hamas and Israel were set to resume ceasefire talks this week. Those talks now in question.
Analysts say the Pentagon announcing a military move is rare and a clear message for Iran to back down. In the race for the White House, former President Trump is attacking his rival, Democrat Kamala Harris. She rallied last night in her hometown of San Francisco, California, and touted no taxes on tips for service workers. Trump says Harris.
All right, welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:01. Brett Witkowski is here. Excuse me. Brett Witkowski is here with me today. What are you doing over there?
I just put it so I can watch it too.
What are you watching? Oh, the video live stream?
Yeah.
Why do you watch that?
Honestly, to see if I'm losing weight. I can tell. It's getting there, but
put a mirror in front of this guy.
Well, I know I'm not looking to see if I got more hair. Let's just get that clear.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So I'm just adjusting for the time stuff because you were going along with that sports thing. No, I'm kidding. It's good stuff. Did we still have more to cover with sports? What were you saying? You're saying they can now field and start practicing.
Yeah, they're out there. Brandywine.
71 at St. Joe. What about Brandywine?
Brandywine has football has midnight practice.
Midnight practice?
Yep.
That's unreasonable. Why do they have midnight practice?
It's a spin off from what they've done for NCAA basketball. A lot of NCAA basketball teams over the last couple of decades, the first day of practice, they'll have like Midnight Madness.
Oh, just to get the kids excited.
Yeah.
And do they actually go out and do any practicing?
It's some.
Okay.
It's kind of a.
That disrupts the sleep schedule too.
But Michigan State's done the best at it. They've done great over the decades with that.
All right. We got to get back and do some news here, and then we'll come back and do some more chit-chat. It is the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg, Brett Witkowski right over there. And thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Bill. Good to see you. Hope your weekend went well. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside. Repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Attention, are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic or Wegovy? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses. If you've been hospitalized and diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, or experienced intestinal blockage requiring surgery, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today for a free consultation. That's 888-900-LAW1. Paid for by Tort Defenders. Tort Defenders is not a law firm and does not provide legal services.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is News Talk Sports 94.9. WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. Depend on us. WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
64 degrees, mostly clear outside. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for tuning in. Some of the news that we're following today in the WSJM Newsroom. Swimming returning to Berrien County's beaches this weekend, if they were allowed, after they were cleared of E. coli contamination on Friday. Berrien County Health Officer Guy Miller says the results that came in Friday were very good news.
All of our levels have been under 100 E. coli per 100 milliliters, which is good. Anything that's over 300 is considered, that's like kind of the advisory level where we're like, well, you shouldn't do more than just kind of like your feet or your legs or something like that. Or canoeing and kayaking is okay, but full body immersion, not a good idea.
Some of the beaches were testing over 1,000 parts of E. coli per 100 milliliter on Monday last week. Miller says the cause of the E. coli contamination could be several issues. Sewer overflows are often a common concern. South Bend did report a sewer overflow event in their system last week of an estimated 1.8 million gallons flowing into the St. Joe River. Miller says heavy rainfall can also cause E. coli from wildlife to wind up in the water. Miller says the health department will resume regular testing today. As part of that program, the staff go to 14 beaches around the county early in the morning and take samples from a depth of about 6 feet. They average out the samples to determine any E. coli presence in the waters for that day. Miller advises swimmers to be conscious of water quality regardless of whether a new swim order has been issued or not. If it looks or smells strange, don't get in the water. That's good common sense. Or eat it either. Oh, wait a sec. Here, let me turn you on. There. Turn on your microphone.
Or eat it.
Or eat it. Yeah. Don't drink the water. South Haven officials say thousands of gallons spilled into a sewer that connects the Black River. So sewage overflow into the Black River during a sewage overflow event Thursday night.
Oh boy.
Last week. They say at around 6:45 p.m., officials say they learned of a sewage backup at a home on Lakeshore Drive in South Haven. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good thing.
That's a big old backup.
Then they found an overflowing manhole at Grand Boulevard and Lakeshore Drive, according to a news release from the South Haven Area Water Sewer Authority. Can you imagine stuff coming out of a manhole cover?
Booster pump fail?
I don't know. What's a booster pump?
Pushes it along. I mean, gravity can only do so much. And then there's a booster pump to push it a little faster.
Staff managed to clear the blockage downstream of the manhole, restoring the flow to normal around 9 p.m. But during the overflow, they say about 3,000 gallons were released into a city storm sewer that leads to the Black River. So, I mean,
That's
so
not
you
that
see,
bad.
well, so you see that how that happens, right? There's a blockage, and then there's an overflow, and they come and take care of it. And in that case, that was one residence, about 3,000 gallons was the resulting overflow. Now, remember the story previous we just talked about, South Bend, in one of their public documents, issued that they had 1.8 million gallons.
South Bend's been getting away with this for decades
Of overflow. And it goes right into the St. Joe River, which
works its way down.
All the way up here.
But they've been getting away with that. You know,
We can't do anything about it? Maybe we should look into that.
I would think so. St. Joe and Benton Harbor have spent, and I know St. Joe in particular, quite a bit of money correcting that deficiency in the sewer system.
Yuck. All right, more news, more different news, because it is breakfast time. We'll change to something different. Benton Harbor School District continues its work to provide a safe learning environment for its students in and out of the classroom. On Friday, State Representative Joey Andrews was there to present a new automated external defibrillator to Benton Harbor High School. Superintendent Kelvin Butts said the district is very appreciative of this, and it will help keep students safe if there's an incident.
The true testament of our continued partnership with our local legislature all the way up to the state government.
Wow, I can't even understand what that audio says. So we'll have to come back and get better audio on that one. Basically, the superintendent was saying that they're very appreciative of that equipment coming through. Last year, newly signed legislation ensured schools maintain AEDs and make them accessible within 1 to 3 minutes during a cardiac emergency. And in celebration of the new law, the National Football League donated a whole bunch of AEDs for states and schools, and Michigan legislators are the ones that are giving them out right now. So AEDs are those portable medical devices that can analyze a heart's rhythm and, if necessary, shock it back into rhythm if it's not. And finally, a case of Eastern equine encephalitis has been found in a horse in Van Buren County. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development says this is the first case of EEE in a domestic animal found in Michigan this year. It was in a standard bred filly that was not vaccinated against EEE. MDARD says this highlights the importance for all Michiganders to take precautions to protect their livestock and themselves from mosquito bites. EEE is a viral disease transmitted through the bites of mosquitoes to both animals and people. Cases of the disease are typically seen in late summer to early fall in Michigan. In humans, EEE can be fatal. That's the Eastern equine encephalitis. State veterinarian Dr. Nora Wineland says the case in Van Buren County indicates disease is circulating in the state's mosquito population, making it crucial to protect animals and people against these insects. You don't want to mess around with that.
Mosquitoes don't seem that bad, though, this year.
They do not seem that bad.
Especially with all the rain we've gotten.
I have also noticed that the arachnids have not been taking up nesting as much as they usually do in our usual spots. Have you noticed that at all?
I'm sorry, I don't know what those are.
Spiders, arachnids.
You know, you're right, because usually outside our garage, so we live downtown, we got a detached garage off the alley. Usually off our sensor light coming off the garage, it's like in the day to the spot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, not that many this year. We have the same exact thing is around the garage and then around the back door. Usually every morning I walk outside and I have to swing one of them that way and then run out before it swings back. But not so much this year. So it's very odd.
Yeah, when I worked at the water plant when I was in college in the summers, part of my job was to kill all the spiders in the
That's a job
intake. Oh, it was. I mean, these spiders. Oh my goodness!
Yikes!
They were.
How'd you kill them?
Should
like step on them? Oh, sprayed on. Okay.
Yeah, where the intake is, which is a little building that's not connected to the water plant. That's where the water is pumped into.
Oh,
there's pumps that suck it in. And then from there, it starts the water process.
We should get a tour of that. I'd like to see the operation.
I can get you.
You have friends? Yeah, let's do a tour. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's really, I didn't like the hours. The hours are brutal because you rotate schedules, like days, afternoons, and nights.
Okay.
That part was always hard, especially with young kids.
Sure.
And but the operation it's pretty slick.
You're talking about right down there at Lions Park?
Yeah, water filtration plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's 7:11. We're getting off schedule here, so let's get back on. We're going to talk a whole lot more about a whole lot of other things. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
The 2024 Summer Olympics wrapping up on Sunday from Paris, and the U.S. women's basketball team closed out the dominance for Team USA at the games with a 67.
I would appreciate a tour.
You say you're touring a jail tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm touring the jail.
Chuck taking you through that?
I don't know who's going to be taking me through. I did arrange it through the sheriff, and part of the programming that we had last month before the primary was bringing in all the candidates for sheriff, and one of the candidates went on at length about the conditions at the jail.
Well, they're good, as good as the jail can be.
And so my obligation as a news person, if we're going to report on it, is to get as much information as we can. And so I requested a tour, and they said yes.
Sure.
And so tomorrow is the first available date. So I'm going to go take a look, and I'll report back. We can talk about it on Friday, or if not before.
Yeah.
If I make it out.
You'll be fine. My daughters went to Grace Lutheran there in South St. Joe, and part of the 8th grade class thing was to tour the jail.
Oh. Like a Scared Straight type of thing?
Yes and no.
Give them encouragement to keep their nose clean?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good.
I mean, the jail's old. It's pushing 80 years old.
Wow.
Built in the 50s.
How are the locks?
I haven't been since they updated them. So when I was chair of the board, we'd take stuff down to them when the guys and ladies were working on holidays. But yeah, I'll get with Greg Almeni
on the water stuff. Yeah, I'd like to do that. You can join.
Yeah, I've been down there.
It's been a while since you've been there, I bet.
No.
Really?
Probably a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
The one thing you notice when you walk in a water plant is the overwhelming smell of chlorine.
Oh, it smells clean.
You walk in there so many times, I don't notice it.
Yeah. Huh.
But you see where the fluoride is mixed and all those things.
Okay. All right. Very nice.
Yeah, it's how they test the water, because they take samples,
pH and that kind of thing.
They do pH and turbidity, but they also go out every day.
They measure the turbidity.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Turbidity is how dirty the water is.
Ooh. Okay.
So, because then that tells them how much they need to adjust chemicals.
Okay.
If it's really getting, if the lake's really rolling, it's going to get more turbidity. They got to up some of the chemicals. But
that makes sense.
Like I said, they go out and sample 2 or 3 spots every day, for bacteria and stuff like that.
Teresa is asking if we watched the Olympic ceremonies last night. I did not, and I feel like I missed out because somebody gave us a summary of
Tom Cruise made a big.
Tom Cruise, he parachuted in and then he rode a motorcycle out.
Yep.
But beyond Tom Cruise's thing, and he did that because LA is hosting the next Summer Games, right?
Yep.
Summer Games.
28.
And they're not going to have breaking. They already decided.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was not one of the competitions that they chose to have. Are they bringing back
baseball and softball?
I bet they will. We'll have to take a look. I bet it's already online, but they did not choose breaking. But no, I heard it was a great ceremony, Teresa. So thanks for. I'll watch that.
You got to give Tom Cruise credit. He does some tough stunts on his own.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But Teresa also asks, what did you do at the water plant?
I was an operator down there.
He killed spiders.
That's what I did in the summer when I was in college.
He killed spiders in the
painted
summer. He painted the spiders.
and fell asleep once.
He made friends with them. He pet the spiders, and then he killed them.
Yeah, and then fell asleep on a roof once.
And now he's a co-host here.
About the same.
I fell asleep standing up once.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was working at a corn processing plant right in the summer between my high school and my community college, and it was my third job, and it was the overnight job because I worked 3 jobs in one summer. I worked 3 jobs for the whole summer, and I fell asleep standing up with a hose in my hand, and I think I was spraying some of my fellow workers, and that's when I woke up. Anyway,
yeah, it was.
It's good to be young.
I liked working when it was Super Bowl, and I'd watch the pressure drop at halftime.
Oh,
when people
bathroom break.
Bathroom break. It was fun to watch.
Maybe they were just getting water.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's get some more water for the Super Bowl. All right. We'll be right back. Hang on.
Go to their website, nbas.org. That's New Buffalo Area Schools.
Partly sunny skies today, nice and comfortable, low humidity still, high temperatures getting up around 78. Inland will be in the low to mid 70s at the beaches during the afternoon hours. We drop to 56 tonight with partly cloudy skies. And then for Tuesday, partly sunny, high temperatures back up near 80. We should still be sunny on Wednesday. We'll see slight chances of rain return at the end of the week. I'm WSBT 22 meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
All right. Good morning. So Brett, we were having a great conversation on the video live stream, and Brett, I'm Ken Lundberg. Brett Witkowski is here with me today. He's my Monday, Friday co-host in perpetuity. And well, you put a pin in that.
My hours changed October.
We'll talk about that. Maybe we can install like a microphone wherever you are for that period of time.
Yeah, probably could do that.
All right, we'll talk. But we were talking on the video live stream, which you can see on Facebook and YouTube. Just Google up, Facebook, YouTube for WSJM, and you can see our video archive there. Or you can tune in live every Monday through Friday from 7 to 8 and see us and hear us chat off the air. We were talking off the air just a second ago about a bunch of things, including the Olympics and the water plant. And one of the things that you noticed when you were working in the water plant is there was a huge drop in pressure at a certain point.
So when you work the water plant, at least in St. Joe, you work rotating hours. And so when you would work during the Super Bowl, at halftime, there would be a noticeable drop in pressure in the system. and the system serves St. Joe City, Village of Shoreham, St. Joe Township, Village of Stevensville, Lincoln Township, Royalton Township, and I believe one house in Baroda Township, if I remember right.
One house.
One house in Baroda. It's right, if I remember right. And you would see it. I remember watching the NBA Finals, too, when Michael Jordan was in it, and there was a drop at halftime. And there was always a drop around 11 when people started going to bed.
Oh, man.
And in the morning, obviously, there's a
That's
drop.
funny, what you can tell about people.
Yeah, it was...
there is one point.
I liked the job. It's just that the hours were pretty hard.
Yeah.
And at that time, we just had the one child. It was pretty hard.
At one point, I was in a house where the toilet had a running thing, and he had to flick the handle, otherwise it would keep running, and until we replaced the flapper or whatever the thing is at the bottom of the tank, and it ran. Nobody noticed it.
Oh boy!
And closed the door and didn't think about it for a weekend. And early the next week, the water guys came by the house. I kid you not. They came by the house and said, "Hey, you got a toilet that's running or something? Because we're noticing a lot of flow coming from this neighborhood." And sure enough,
adds up. It does not take much. So we're fortunate. We own some apartments, and I can, if the water usage goes up, I start looking. So I'll go look at the meter.
Oh, okay.
And if the meter is moving and there's no water being used, you got a leaky toilet somewhere.
Ooh, and that costs you money, a lot of money.
It costs a lot. It doesn't, and water rates and sewer rates have shot through the roof.
They sure have. They sure have. All right.
But yeah, I'll email Greg Almani down there.
Thank
He's the superintendent to get you a tour.
You join me. It'd be good.
If it's on a Friday, I can.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Closing ceremonies for the Olympics. Teresa on our video live stream brought that up, so we thought we'd talk about it just a little bit. The are we doing the right thing here? Yeah, I think we are. Okay. The Olympics closing ceremony apparently was really, really good. France, they hosted well.
They did a nice job,
except
with
for the Seine River, since we're
that-
talking about sewage and stuff.
They need to not even try that.
They did a great job, and the closing ceremony was great. Partially because you had Tom Cruise in there
doing his own stunts.
His own stunts
as he
once
normally
again.
does.
Yep.
And
Mission.
he's got to be pushing 60.
Why is it always an age thing? He's fine. He's fine. I saw him parachuting in on some of the real highlights,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, yeah, boy, risky business to this. That's good.
Yeah, he's kept it
He's
up,
had a long
hasn't
career.
he? Yeah, he has had a very long career.
Mission Impossible star and also the star of Risky Business, Tom Cruise, descended from the top of the, what do they call that? The Stade de France. After the Star
You
Spangled.
like those French words, huh?
Star Spangled, because they omit letters. It's fun.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, you usually don't pronounce the thing on the end of it. Yeah, that's why it sounds so fancy, like Star Spangled Banner. During the 2024 Paris Olympics closing ceremony, it happened yesterday. He effortlessly flew through the sky and down to the athletes. Yeah, it looks like he was on a big old harness.
He was.
He then rode a motorcycle out with the flag, the Olympic flag. He does all his own stunts, and I think he hurts himself quite often when he does those.
Probably, yeah. I know I would. Hope he's got a life alert.
Can you imagine what the insurance premium is for him?
Probably through Lloyd's of London.
Probably.
It's amazing how Lloyd's of London is the company that insures the most valuable, eccentric things in the world.
Yeah, the weirdest things, or the most unique things, I should say. And then let's see.
Probably not doing the show.
Switch over to politics.
Probably not insuring us.
Switch over to politics. No insurance needed. We're good. Did you see over the weekend that the Trump campaign confirmed that their computer systems had been hacked?
There's a surprise.
Yeah. Former President Donald Trump's campaign confirmed on Saturday that some of its internal communications had been hacked. This came after Politico, the news publication that started out in D.C., began receiving emails from an anonymous account with documents from inside the Trump operation. What those are just yet, we don't have a full understanding of. We only know that someone named Robert started emailing documents from the Trump campaign to Politico, and Politico said, "Yeah, we got this. Hey, Trump campaign, what of it?" And the Trump campaign said, "Yeah, we've been hacked.
Really?
We've been hacked." The campaign blamed foreign sources hostile to the United States, citing a Microsoft report on Friday that Iranian hackers sent a spear phishing email in June to a high-ranking official on a presidential campaign. Microsoft did not identify the campaign targeted by the email and declined to comment Saturday. Politico has not independently verified the identity of the hacker or the motivation, and a Trump campaign spokesperson declined to say if they had further information substantiating the campaign's suggestion that it was targeted by Iran. You can get an email. So there's phishing, which is kind of a general thing. And then there's spear phishing, which is very precise and direct. And it knows information about you, and it has enough information that it can kind of cobble together what seems like a friendly, innocuous email. And then all of a sudden you click on a link and it's done. You're over. So that's why even my own colleagues here will send me emails with links in them. I respond to them and I say, I do not click links in emails, so do not send them to me. So if there's something I need to know behind a link that you sent me, come tell me. Talk to me. The documents were obtained illegally from foreign sources hostile to the United States, intended to interfere with the 2024 election and sow chaos throughout our democratic process. Do they need to sow chaos? Don't we have enough already? Don't you
they
think?
kept accusing Trump in 16 of Russian collusion.
Oh, that's right.
Which was proved to be a total false.
Proved to be false. On Friday,
Iran sure is out to get Trump.
You think?
Well, they had a thing where there was a plot to assassinate him.
Yeah, saw that.
Obviously, they do fear Trump getting into office because
For the security.
I'm sure they
National
know
strength.
that their days might be numbered a little bit.
Yeah.
To stay within their own borders.
Wow. So Politico on July 22nd say they began receiving emails from an anonymous account over the course of the past few weeks. The person who used an AOL email account.
That still exists.
I didn't even know they were still online.
I did not either.
It's America Online. Identified themselves only as Robert. Relayed what appeared to be internal communications from a senior Trump campaign official, a research dossier the campaign had apparently done on Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, which was dated February 23rd, which included that document. The documents are apparently authentic, according to two people familiar with them, and granted, the people who confirmed that were granted anonymity to describe the communications because they weren't supposed to talk about it. And then one of the people described the dossier as a preliminary version of Vance's vetting file. So essentially, when campaigns try to understand who they're dealing with, including who their running mate might be, they do a as thorough a vetting as they can. They get the private investigators and everyone else to dig through everything, online, offline, friends, family, etc., to try to get any and all information that may be great or may not be so great. And that's what they put in the dossier. And so that dossier is now in the hands of Politico to go through and see, oh, well, looks like you cut down a cherry tree when you were a kid.
And Politico is not a friend of Trump.
Oh, is that right?
No.
Oh, they're not objective?
Yeah, I don't see them as objective. I'll tell you, and I mentioned this to you before, and I think you've looked at them. If you want something that's truly objective, go to Real Clear Politics.
That's just an aggregator, though.
No, but they run stories too.
No, that's an aggregator. They pull stories from other locations.
But it's not one sided. It's every side.
Yeah, all sides.
Yeah,
multifaceted.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
depends on the source. Depends on the source. It really does.
Yeah, but my point is, it's not one side or the other.
I see.
If that's what someone's looking for, not neutral stories, but
objective.
Yeah, I mean, where you get both sides.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right, it is 7:27 right now, 7:28, and we have a whole lot more news coming up in just a few minutes. We've got the Bloomberg report. We've got ABC News, our own news from the WSJM newsroom, telling you what's happening locally. It's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Loan rates are trending downward. Are you ready?
All right, back here on the video live stream because we got a couple minutes. The objectivity in the mainstream media is difficult to find these days.
I just don't think it really exists.
It's why do you think that? Why do you think it's been like that?
Well, I think there's so many sources of news, and they play to their audience that they can do that.
Yeah.
Whether you're conservative or liberal, if you're liberal, you're watching MSNBC and CNN, and if you're conservative, you're watching Fox and Newsmax.
The other thing that concerns me greatly is the lack of information available unless you pay money.
True.
So, I mean, a lot of people call Washington Post, New York Times bias on one end.
Correct.
Others would say Wall Street Journal leans on the other end.
Correct.
All three of those publications, major publications with the most potentially valuable information gathered on news stories of the day, behind paywalls. And if you have a populace that cannot get access one way or another to those paywalls, where do they go? They're forced to go to a lot of different places, and sometimes those sources aren't vetted. Iran, for instance, apparently, I was reading this over the weekend, has been proliferating with fake news websites that look legit, that are talking about the election, the economy in the United States, and other things. So it's just creating an ongoing narrative because, again, there's a formula on how you get picked up in the social medias, and part of that is to proliferate with news stories with certain keywords.
So what side are they pushing? Iran.
Again, I think it's aligned with what you're talking about.
Yeah, go and push. They're worried if Trump gets in, what happens to him.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, with what's happening with Israel right now, and with our armed forces being mustered over there, with the submarine now, and the aircraft carrier groups being accelerated, then what do they get with Biden? Who knows? I mean, did they think it's just a flash?
Well, I
It's not gonna
think you
last?
and I talked about in the beginning. I think it might be, them stalling, as it seems to appear, in attacking Israel has allowed the Americans to build up his presence.
Yeah.
Which then may give them coverage to say, well, we're not going to attack Israel because we don't want to engage with the United States.
War.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy stuff. All right, well, we will get the latest from ABC News here in just a minute. Also, your Bloomberg Market Minute. But let's see. Bill says, Bill talks about your early career at the water place, and now your road commission job. You've never really stopped dealing with crap. That's what it says here.
Yeah, and then you throw in treasure in between.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Went from that to taxes to roads.
Teresa apparently
not
likes
popular.
Teresa likes spiders. I think that's what that
She
says.
likes spiders?
No, she says she hates spiders.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right though. They're not as, well, I'm going to say, thick.
Right.
You're right, because usually this time of year it's our lights have them all over the place.
Yeah, the only reason I noticed that is because I usually literally have to swing them out of the way to get out of my back door.
Yeah,
All right, back with more news in a sec.
Orlando Park include the first land devoted to movie villains and a Frontierland upgrade that includes an area based on the movie Cars. Disney also plans to double the size of its Avengers campus in Anaheim, California at Disneyland. Stock futures point to a higher open for Wall Street after a volatile week that ended with gains on Friday ranging from just over 0.1% to around 0.5%. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
All right, 65 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 66 over in St. Joe, South Haven, 58 degrees. Still a little chilly over there. We should probably talk NASCAR at some point.
Ooh, NASCAR's big.
Oh, did I forget to turn your microphone on again? I think the button's sticking because I'm doing everything I usually do. All right, try it again. NASCAR. No, now you're just messing around.
NASCAR.
Okay. If you're watching it,
if
you're watching on the video live stream, Brett is poking fun at me and he's just mouthing words to make me think that the microphone is off. So we'll talk about NASCAR in a few minutes. Forecast for today in Southwest Michigan: partly sunny skies, 20% chance of showers. Really?
When did that come up?
I don't see that coming.
What time?
I don't know. 78 degrees for a high, west winds. I did see some clouds over the weekend because we said there was going to be mostly sunny skies, which is what it was. But I did see some clouds over the weekend that threatened rain, and then they moved along.
Sunday morning was like a fall clouds.
Was that when the spirals were in the air?
Yeah,
and they were all
cool.
Yeah, they're very cartoon-like.
I am not seeing any rain on my thing, so I don't know what forecast you're looking at.
I'm looking at WSBT. They are weather partners in the morning, and Carrie Peugeot knows a lot of stuff. She knows a lot of stuff. And
my uncle was their tech guy for 40 years.
Oh, that's
he
fun.
actually hired Terry Green down there.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Terry Green's our engineer here.
Yep.
That is amazing, and he keeps everything on the air and operating. Tonight's forecast: partly cloudy skies, low around 56. Northwest winds continue 5 to 10. And then Tuesday, partly sunny skies, a high around 80. We've got more news coming up, ABC right now. Then we'll go over and check our WSJM newsroom for the latest.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Well, I guess we'll do our news right now. They said we do our news right now because ABC News is not ready. Swimming returned to Berrien County's beaches this weekend after they were cleared of E. coli contamination on Friday. Berrien County Health Officer Guy Miller says the results that came in Friday were good news. Some of the beaches had been testing at over 1,000 parts per 100 milliliters, and that's too high for E. coli. Miller says the cause of the E. coli contamination could have been several things. Sewer overflows are a common concern, And maybe not coincidentally, South Bend did report a sewer overflow event in their system last week, an estimated 1.8 million gallons flowing into the St. Joe River. And so Miller says heavy rainfall could also that could also cause some of the things to wind up in the water. We are going to talk with Guy Miller here on the air. He'll be my guest tomorrow in the 7 o'clock hour.
Good.
Right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We're going to talk about a lot of things related to the health department, all the things that they do and that we're thankful for them doing. But it will include some of the stuff about the water testing and E. coli, and we'll have a good discussion about that.
What else you got on this week?
Well, I'll tell you. We'll see. But thank you for interrupting.
Well, you should. I'm giving you a chance to promote your show.
I appreciate that. Other news that we're following this morning, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is asking for federal agriculture disaster assistance for cherry producers in Berrien, Van Buren, and 7 other counties. In a letter to Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack this month, the governor says increasingly unpredictable weather resulted in Michigan experiencing a natural disaster for sweet cherry production. Governor Whitmer says the mild winter, along with the wet spring and summer, caused an explosion of higher insect populations and some fungi. So that's a problem. Fungi. So she's
sounds good.
She's asking for some federal assistance. We'll see if they do that. If they give us any assistance, they turned down a couple of tornado requests earlier this year. And then the Michigan Department of Transportation's I-94 project continues as the couple of ramps will be closed in Benton Township. That interchange between I-94 and M139, you've seen the signage already. They'll be closing some of those ramps for rebuilding. It starts with the eastbound ramp today. The eastbound I-94 ramp will be closed starting today. That will run through at least Friday. The westbound I-94 ramp will be closed starting next Monday. While the ramp closures are in place, eastbound traffic will be detoured on Napier Avenue, while westbound traffic next week will be detoured onto M63. So do watch for that signage there. That's some of the local news that we're following from the WSJM newsroom today. We've got a lot more coming up next, including sports with Dave Wolf. First, this look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher, Michigan's.
All right. Yeah, we got Guy Miller coming in tomorrow. That'll be fun. Because oftentimes, I mean,
Wednesday and Thursday.
You've been in government for a long time.
Correct.
And so you know what the health department does.
It's a tough job.
It's a tough job. There's a lot to do. Most recently, COVID gave people probably, I don't know, a negative connotation about health departments, but they were basically just trying to interpret everything they were getting from up above them.
Correct.
All the way through. And so some area health departments are they are struggling with that perception, while at the same time they still have everything else to do, including monitoring the water at beaches. You've got your food things. They've got because you want to make sure that where you're eating is safe.
Yeah, they check out food establishments.
Food safety. Yep. And then you've also got, they're very active in healthcare as far as helping those who don't have the means to seek regular care, make sure that they're getting taken care of. Then also Narcan administration, training for that, for potential overdoses, which have been climbing in Berrien County and other places.
They do septic systems.
They do
for that.
They do the septic inspections and the septic systems. And that by the way, yikes, that seems like a ticking time bomb.
Well, I mean,
you think about public infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right? You got to replace pipes and lines and all that other stuff. Septic systems, no different. Got to replace them, got to maintain them.
Yep. Well, a lot of what they do is if you want to build a house, can it handle?
That's part of it.
A septic system.
That's part of it. And you also have to take a look and see, okay, well, if the neighbor's water is all of a sudden testing for E. coli and he's got everything in order, it's like, oh, well, wait a second, is my neighbor maintaining their septic system as well? So they do have those things.
Big in lead abatement.
Oh, for the water pipes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and just lead paint too. That was a big deal.
If they only didn't make it, so tasty, the little paint chips.
Right. I know when we bought our house, we had it. They came and checked the asbestos.
Oh,
to
yeah.
see if we had asbestos.
Ooh.
And we did a lot.
Did you really?
Yeah. But they said as long as it stays encapsulated.
Where was your asbestos?
I was in the basement.
What, in the pipe, around the pipes?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they said, as long as you don't disturb it, you're fine.
Yeah.
So it's still there.
Okay. Well, don't disturb it.
Yeah, they have like a lot of things, the demand that they have doesn't equal the number of employees and the budget that they have. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
The demand that they have doesn't match the employees and the
resources. The resources that they have aren't sufficient to meet the
demand,
their objectives.
And I saw they're doing, hoping to do an addition or remodel down at Niles, which I can tell you just it's been 4 years, but probably hasn't gotten better. Is sorely needed down there. It's a big population base down in Niles.
Oh yeah,
you got Niles, Buchanan area. Niles City is the largest city. Niles Township might be the second largest township.
Wow.
Then throw in Buchanan City, and Buchanan Township, and Bertrand and Orinoco Township, which kind of would go more that way. And Orinoco's a big township too, Berrien Springs. And that's that definitely needs an upgrade down there.
Ooh, today's National Vinyl Record Day. Did you know that?
My oldest daughter just got a record player.
Did she really?
I don't know.
What prompted that?
I don't know if she got it from us or my I don't know where she got it from.
You don't know where she got a record player?
But she did send us a video to text of her playing a record.
Today is the day in 1877 when Thomas Edison invented the phonograph.
That man's brain, the things that he invented.
I know.
Isn't it just incredible?
It's incredible. Is he one of those where they say he's credited with inventing a lot of things, but he actually took a lot of other people's ideas?
Oh, I never heard that.
Mark Knopfler is 75.
Who's he?
Seriously? You don't know Sultans of Swing?
Who?
Money for Nothing?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
If I don't know, I don't know.
You're not a music guy.
I like music.
Mark Knopfler, the leader of Dire Straits, turns 75 today.
Heard of them.
Yeah, so he's the lead guy. He's an amazing guitarist. He's really, really good. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. I am excited for your coach's show to begin. I need to reach out to Phil because we want to get you on video. So
Phil.
Does Phil listen? Is Phil a listener?
Phil. From Groundhog Day.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
It's kind of turned into a classic, you know?
Oh, yeah. Definitely a cult classic. Let's see. I got an interesting email from Mike Rogers' campaign over the weekend. I'll pull that up. We'll talk about that in a minute.
You got some political people wanting to come on this show.
I will have Eric Nesbitt on later this month. Thank you for helping arrange that.
Senate Majority Leader, or no, Senate Minority Leader.
Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right, it's the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be right back at it after this.
Crafted items to check out from over 50 different vendors. Everything from home decor, furniture, jewelry, candles, art, and much more available to purchase. Stop by to see what our local artisans have to offer at St. Joe Today's Lake Bluff Artisan Fair.
What would you want to see make a big comeback? Flip phones?
No!
Disco?
No.
How about Red Ball Double Draw?
Yes, please!
The Daily 4 Red Ball Double Draw from the Michigan Lottery is back.
Yes!
This month only, during the Daily 4 nightly drawings. Whenever the red ball falls, there will be a second drawing, giving you another chance to win on the same ticket.
No!
Yes, but only for a limited time. The Michigan Lottery Daily 4 Red Ball Double Draw.
It's back, baby!
Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
From ABC News Tech Trends, could a court break up Google? It's a question that's in the mind of many after this week's landmark antitrust ruling against the company in a case brought by the Department of Justice.
Structural reform is extremely radical. It is disfavored, and it has been disfavored historically.
Neil Chilson is the former chief technologist for the Federal Trade Commission. He says in order for a court to decide to break a company up, it would need to exhaust all other options.
So if the court can't impose something that would solve the problem, or it's skeptical of its ability to enforce those those types of behavioral conditions, then maybe you get a breakup. That doesn't seem to be the case here.
Instead, he says it's more likely to focus on the multi-billion-dollar deals that Google has cut to be the default search engine on popular smartphones.
Banning them, perhaps, those types of contracts, or adding a whole bunch of other conditions, perhaps, to those contracts.
With Tech Trends, I'm Mike DeBusky, ABC News.
Summer is heating up, just like the deals at Omaha Steaks. From perfectly aged steaks to juicy burgers, Omaha Steaks is your summer grilling headquarters. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale at omahasteaks.com for exclusive, unconditional money-back guaranteed packages starting at $99. Plus, get an extra $10 off with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY for an extra $10 off. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale today before these deals go up in smoke.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Partly sunny skies today. Nice and comfortable. Low humidity still. High temperatures getting up around 78. Inland will be in the low to mid 70s at the beaches during the afternoon hours. We drop to 56 tonight with partly cloudy skies. And then for Tuesday, partly sunny. High temperatures back up near 80. We should still be sunny on Wednesday. We'll see slight chances of rain return at the end of the week. I'm WSBT 22 meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Oh boy, it's already beginning. 66 degrees in St. Joseph right now, mostly clear skies. We got 64 in Benton Harbor. It's a beautiful start to the day. It's going to be a great week. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as she just said, Carrie Peugeot, good chance of a lot of sunshine. Good outdoor time. Good end to the summer.
Always looks pretty looking out the window here at the studio and seeing the sun hit the trees back here.
I know, it's so pretty. Although the weeds are getting up down below there. I thought they weren't supposed to grow there.
What weeds? You got weed growing here?
Well, I don't know. Not weed.
Oh. Well, I didn't know. Might another source of income.
Oh, boy. That's not a bad idea. All right. One of the things, we talked about this last week.
Parties here?
No, well, we can talk about that too.
Okay.
We can talk. Remind me. No, last week we were talking about politics, and we noticed right after the elections on August 6th, that was just last week, just a week ago tomorrow, we noticed that they'd already started running the ads for the general election, which isn't until the first Tuesday in November. And one of the ads that it's apparently on the television airwaves is Alyssa Slotkin. And I saw this over the weekend. A press release came out from Mike Rogers' campaign. He's the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate. And he said, in case you missed it, the Rogers for Senate campaign has filed a cease and desist letter with 17 television stations across Michigan for airing a false and misleading television ad that's paid for by the Slotkin campaign. Rogers for Senate Communications Director Chris Gustafson said, when Slotkin moved to Michigan to run for Congress, she couldn't stop raving about Mike Rogers' record of delivering for Michiganders. But rather than defend her own record of high grocery prices, a dangerous open border, and votes to ban gas cars, she's decided to spread lies and falsehoods about Mike Rogers to Michiganders. Slotkin is simply a self-serving politician that will say whatever it takes to get elected. And so they filed a cease and desist order against her television ads right now. I don't know. What do you think? Publicity stunt or actual affrontage here?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little disheartening to see all political ads during the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Kind of seems like the antithesis of what the Olympics are supposed to be, a kind of a peaceful time.
I did see Benton Harbor schools.
Oh, an ad for that?
Ad during the Olympics for, to enroll your children. And it was a good ad.
Yeah.
I thought, good for you. I mean, it was a
Where
good
were you
audience.
watching? Were you watching on USA?
No, I thought it was 16.
Okay.
WMDU.
On WNDU. Okay.
Right.
Streaming or over the air?
Over the air.
Huh.
That was
Interesting.
a good ad.
Okay. Because sometimes that streaming stuff picks up on things, your preferences.
Oh, it does.
Sometimes. It gets real smart.
Yeah, we have a millennial working in our office who handles our media.
Oh, boy.
And she knows all the algorithms and
yeah. There's a lot to know.
She knows when to publish our social media stuff.
Yeah. So you mentioned the block parties, and we can give this update. So just
not when the next one is.
No, we're not putting an invitation out there, but just the update on that story is. Oh, here's the Australian person. So the update on that story is what we had talked about. She's not good. What we had talked about. Sorry, we've got one of the televisions on just a monitor in case there's anything. And they've got the Australian breakdancer is performing, and it's pretty darn silly. Brett is losing it. But if you haven't already, YouTube up
Look at the audience, the crowd they have there for that.
Well, I mean, they're there for the whole thing. They're not there just for her.
No, I know, but
I mean, there's some talent. There's some talent.
I'm glad it's a one-time deal.
Anyway, breakdancing in the Olympics. But back to the block parties. So we had an issue here, and we had a news story about it where area businesses, including our own, full disclosure, it included ours too. But there was the auto dealership a couple doors down that was reporting tens of thousands of dollars in damage to their inventory and some of the private property that was on their premises at the time because of these block parties that are happening on weekends, going till the wee hours of the morning. We have security camera footage of our own parking lot 2 weekends ago at 3:49 in the morning where the parking lot is full. 3:49 in the morning. Parking lot of a business is full where even during the middle of the day, even at our busiest times, we don't have that many cars in our parking lot. So the police have been dealing with the issue, and in fact, they came and visited a couple of businesses next door. They came over and talked to us on the airwaves as well, and they were working to shut things down, the illegal parties. And in fact, I can report not this last weekend because we haven't looked at the tapes yet, but the weekend prior to that. After we raised the issue, the issue stopped. And what you saw on the security footage, some cars coming into the parking lot and making a beeline turnaround and driving away. Why were they driving away? Because they had a patrol car stationed here as well.
Oh, good for Benton Township.
Good for Benton Township. And they're also continuing, they've been doing this for a while now, continuing to look at social media to try to understand where and when these parties will pop up so they can be there to say, no, this is not going to happen. Exactly. And it's been effective so far.
Good.
So 2 weeks in, early yet, we'll see. We've got the Moody on the Market update. That's coming up in just a moment. And are you done with the Australian breakdancer?
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
I give her a lot of credit. It took a lot of guts.
Yeah. It did take a lot of guts.
It took a lot of guts.
I bet she gets some sort of ad sponsorship, ad deal out of this.
She will.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll make more. She's made more money than us together.
We'll have more in just a minute on the morning show.
There is a place in Southwest Michigan where a fresh and innovative daily brunch and dinner menu will delight you, where craft cocktails and extensive wine and beer options will excite you, and where the ambiance feels like being on vacation right in your own backyard. That place is Planks. Planks Tavern on the Water, inside the Inn at Harbor Shores, on the River Channel in St. Joe. Enjoy Planks Dockside Summer Social every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Indulge in delectable food and drink specials and great fun and games while enjoying the beats of talented DJs from Lux Entertainment. Kickstart the evening with half-off appetizers and pizza from 4 to 6. Brought to you by Century 21 affiliated St. Joseph's most desired real estate company. See the full menu plus creative drink options and more at plankstavern.com or book your reservation anytime on the Open Table app. Planks Tavern on the Water inside the Inn at Harbor Shores. An experience away from it all without going far.
Stunning sights, more clicks, web design done, Websticks.
If you're running a business or maybe a nonprofit, you probably have a website and it probably has issues, small ones, or maybe some moderately big ones, either of which you don't have time or cash in the budget for. That's why Websticks offers the opportunity for someone like you to buy.
All right. We've got a minute here before we get back on the airwaves to give the Moody on the Market update. We're going to be talking about Full Circle Cafe, which is near and dear to your heart for a couple of reasons. Number one,
good food.
Number one, good food, because you were hanging out there this last weekend. And number two, they are the sponsor of the Coaches Show.
Yes.
And so we'll have to make the most of it this year because they are going to be closing in December. So we'll talk about that in our Moody on the Market update in just a couple of minutes here.
Unless they find a buyer.
It's going to be a busy, huh?
Unless there's a buyer.
Oh yeah, they could remain open, but the current owners are closing their obligation to it.
Correct.
By Christmas time. So we'll talk about that. You said you have a busy week. Anything interesting you want to talk about?
We got slow pitch softball championship tonight. Double elimination.
Here, I thought you were going to talk about work. Work is going to be busy.
Got a meetings. Yeah, I do. I got to head to Kalamazoo for 10 o'clock meetings. They'll take about to 1 or 2. Got Wednesday. Not sure. Thursday night, I got meeting in Almena Township, which is Pawpaw, over some road improvements. So,
wow, that's nice.
Usually, I would say I have at least one night meeting a week, which I'm okay with that. I mean, it is what it is, and I meet monthly with the Van Buren County Board of Commissioners and
all right,
go over stuff with them.
We got to get back for the Moody on the Market update. It's coming up in just a sec.
Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And this one came in over the weekend. We were surprised to understand that Jamie and Ryan Bendowski at Stevensville's Full Circle Cafe and Espresso Bar have decided they are going to stop running their business. They're around Christmas time. So they're going to run the business from now until at least Christmas time. And then maybe they'll have new owners. We don't know. But in a lengthy social media post, the couple thanked their thousands of customers and friends and shared that it's simply time for them to plan for a major change in their lives. And that means a different direction than being the restaurant owners of a 24/7 life of business. The Bendowskis suggested it's not merely an economic-based decision. It's not economics. They say it has more to do with what they want for themselves and their family in the years ahead. So in the meantime, between now and Christmas, Full Circle Cafe will continue full-scale operations with the planned shutdown coming on December 22nd, 2024. So part of the text of the announcement is, have we told you lately what an honor it is to have been serving this amazing close-knit community? If you had told me 8+ years ago that we were going to make it this far, I'm not sure I would have believed you, but here we are thinking about back-to-school season, wrapping up another amazing summer in the village of Stevensville, and with that comes some serious reflection. They say the past 15 months have been the biggest adventure of all for them. Believe it or not, it's been even more of a learning experience than owning a restaurant amidst a global pandemic. In April 23, she says that we called on you to help us through the financial hardships that surely could have brought things to a screeching halt at Full Circle. But boy, oh boy, did you as a community show up. And who am I kidding? She says, you've always shown up. Since May 27th, 2016, so many of you have been just like family to us. We sincerely thank you for that. And so they talk a little bit about their decision and why they're choosing to do that. And no surprise, it involves some of their family. They've decided they're missing out a little bit on some of the childhoods there.
Yeah, I think when we were out there Saturday, she had mentioned a 12-year-old and 10-year-old.
That's right. Yeah, the Grace, who's 12, and Ryder, who's 10. Excuse me. And so they say there's real magic in what they've been doing, but there's real magic in family as well. And so you can read that full article. It's there at moodyonthemarket.com. But making the decision that effective Sunday, December 22nd, that'll be their last day as the owners of Full Circle Cafe. So in the meantime, who knows what's going to happen, but we'll keep a close eye on it. You think it's gonna sell?
I think if they put it up for sale, I mean, it's built for a restaurant. I mean, it's ready to go.
Yeah. Always had good food there.
Yeah,
good food.
We had good lunches on Saturday.
But they are continuing full operations from now till the end of December. So encourage you to check it out, Full Circle Cafe, because why? They are the sponsor of the Coaches Show that happens every Saturday. And who runs the Coaches Show?
Actually, Phil does.
Oh, it's Brett Witkowski
Phil sets it all
along
up.
with Phil's help.
I stay out of his way.
All right.
I help him take it
Phil
down.
McDonald, Brett Witkowski. It's the Coaches Show. This is the morning show. And right now we've got news from ABC.
From ABC News. I'm Derek Dennis. Chilling evidence just released in the Uvalde, Texas school massacre. The city making public a trove of police text messages and videos from that deadly day.
All right, make sure I did this right. Okay. Well, thank you to those who have been watching on the live stream. Brett, you're going to go out and practice your breakdancing now to see if you can compete with Ray Gun from Australia. Okay.
Just not on purpose.
All right. We'll see you all tomorrow. Brett, we'll see you on Friday.
You got it, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
All right. See ya.